we're reading on Shabbat, we're going to kind of do a modified Torah service because of the crowd and some of the other restrictions involved. But we are going to ask you to rise, and we're going to invite Greg, Jill, Jack, Wyatt, Charlotte, whoever you are, to the Bima to help us get the Torah out. You can see when they open the Aron Kodesh that as a congregation we are blessed with 3 Sifrei Torah, and I will talk about one of them in a few moments.
Yes, sir.
Go for it. All of you, go for it. Okay, okay,
What?
All right, we good? Wait.
Go down and I'll Simon, this way. Go down and
According to tradition, you have to remain standing until the Torah is placed at the table. I do want to make some appropriate announcements. Number one, when our congregation built our new building, this is our third home, I asked for 2 considerations, and our Board of Trustees was gracious enough to honor both my requests. One, that we have no permanent seating. So as you know and can observe, obviously all our chairs are portable, which enables us to do interesting configurations for special events. Number 2, as I said last night, I was raised in the German Orthodox Jewish community of Baltimore, Maryland. I've been privileged to literally travel all over the world, and my first exposure to a Sephardic shul was they don't read Torah from the Bima. They read Torah in the midst of the congregation. And I said, hey, wait a minute, that makes more sense. It is the heritage of Kahilas Yaakov. It is our gift, our precious heritage. Why not? So my second request was that we have a Torah table that we can literally move into the congregation, and 3 member families of our congregation donated this handmade Torah table to us from a craftsperson, believe it or not, in the wilds of Kentucky. So this is our famous Torah table, And if you will take the yad and the covers off, and please, and put the Torah on the table, because they look like they need to sit down. Yes. There are rules. Now you can, if you know French, setzen Sie hin. So we do have some French speakers among us. More significantly and important to our synagogue, I was talking with one of your Hevra prior to worship, and I mentioned autobiographically, I am the child of survivors from Germany, which is why a German Orthodox shul makes sense for me. So, one of the things I have been privileged to do in the state of Alabama, if you know the famous story of the Westminster Synagogue in London, after World War II, in Prague, Czechoslovakia, they found a warehouse next to a shul. In that warehouse were 1,500 Torah scrolls. The Nazis, Yimach Shemo V'Zikro, may their names and memories be blotted out, were planning at the conclusion of the war to erect a museum to the decadent Jewish culture. And these scrolls would be on display as well as various ritual artifacts. They failed, thank God. The interesting story is that a very wealthy businessman learned of these scrolls and persuaded through his gifts, we don't want to use the word bribery in shul and Shabbos, to the Czech officials to allow the scrolls to come to London, to the Westminster Synagogue, which built a special scriptorium, and they were categorized, reviewed, labeled, repaired, all kinds of interesting things that scribes do. The Westminster Synagogue a number of years ago decided that these scrolls needed homes throughout the world. And we have been privileged in the state of Alabama to have one scroll in Huntsville, two in Birmingham, one in Mobile. I don't know about Montgomery, if they have one. I don't know that. And we were privileged to bring one here. I will tell you about this scroll because it is important, and it was a request of Kevin that Simon and Penelope read from this scroll. You are in the presence, to the very best of our knowledge, of one of the two oldest Torah scrolls in the world. One of my dear friends, a retired professor of biology, Israeli, geologist, scientist, decided we needed to learn how old our scroll was. So he and I, with the approval of our leadership, came over here one day and we did surgery on the scroll on pieces of the parchment. We did not touch the writing, obviously. We took a snippet, fingernail size, from Genesis, and we took a fingernail snippet from Devorah, Deuteronomy. My friend, Professor Paul Aaron, had worked at Woods Hole Scientific Laboratory, had friends there, and he said, I want to do a carbon dating. What do you guys think? And they said, Paul, we love you so much, it'd be our pleasure. So he and I looked at the scroll. I have read historical scrolls. My doctoral dissertation was in the Dead Sea Scrolls, so I'm used to ancient texts. I said, I don't know, 1700s, 1800s. Paul says, no, I think you're a little late. I'd say 1500s. So we sent off our sample. We got a report. I happened to be at the shul the day he comes flying in here. He says, we both guessed wrong. This scroll is dated approximately 1250 to 1300. Now, we did not test the writings. We don't know if they inscribed the text later than the parchment itself, but it is that old here in Tuscaloosa, 1300s. We don't know where, because tradition is you don't sign them, the scribes don't sign them, they don't date them, we have no clue where. FYI, the other scroll that it's comparable is in Bologna, Italy, of all places. So we and Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Bologna, Italy are sister cities when it comes to Torah scrolls. If you are a student of calligraphy, do we have anybody who does calligraphy in this? Knows what calligraphy is, at least? Whoever he was, as my family would say, such a beautiful hand. It is a magnificent calligraphy. It is absolutely gorgeous. And we have one of our members here, his late father was a cipher, a scribe, and came and reviewed the scroll. And he said and he happens to be was Sephardic. He said exactly the same thing. Ah, such a beautiful hand. It is magnificent. So please appreciate how special and how fortunate Temple Emmanuel of Tuscaloosa, Alabama is to house this particular scroll. Now, okay. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Go!
Mom, you can come up too. What we want to do is, one of you on the other side. Our goal is to keep as flat a page as we can for the readings.
Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet Bahaye Olam Natabet Ohenu Barata Adonai Natain HaTorah.
Amen.
Bar Adonai Hambara.
Baruch
Bahar Banu Miko Hamim, Natan Lanu, et Tortel, or Tadonai, Natain HaTorah. Vaisimu Allah, Sarai, Misimu, honor until the Sibutam. Vaivan Arad, Miskinot, the Pharaoh, Ebitum, et Ramses. Va'asher, Ya'anu, Token bed Amy Frogs, by good Bene Israel, well be to Mitzrayim, Bene Israel Befara, Bamaru et Haikam, Abadah Kasha, the Homer, Evelyn Abadah Basada, Ekal Abadah Hamasher, Dubahem Befara, by Yomer, Malam Mitzrayim, Lamilot, Harriot, Ashisham Hachi Fra, Shem Hashni Kua, by Yomer, Beladahan et Harriot, or Ten Alkabanayim. Even who, Hamitan, who in Batipaya, Batirana Hamildev et Hayahim, below a suit Asher, the barrel hem, Mel Mizraim, Batahayana et Hayaladim. Bara, Ata Adonai, Eloheinu, Melhalam, Asher, Natamana, Torah, Emet, I Elam, Natan Betafinu, Bara, Ata Adonai, the
While Simon and Penelope are preparing for Haftorah, I did want to mention one other thing, and that is for those of you that come out of traditional backgrounds, you're familiar with the tradition of the Baal Koreh, who is the master Torah person at the table always. I don't know where you grew up, I don't know what your traditions are. When I grew up, and the Baal Koreh was here, and you were learning to read Torah, if you made a mistake, he would call it out loud enough so everybody in the shul knew you made a mistake. And I remember that with great fondness. My stomach still turns on occasion. My friend that I mentioned, Paul Aaron, the Israeli, was my Baal Koreh when he was here. So whenever I read Torah, he was here to remind me. But he was such a gentleman that he never called it out. He always whispered it. So there are two traditions. So now we can get the cover, because the tradition is that while Haftarah is read, you simply cover the Torah before you put it back.
They're still learning. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar minim tovim v'ratzav yirhem hanamarim b'emet Baruch Adonai Eloheinu b'torah u'moshavto Yisrael amo v'vim b'emet v'aseh
Amen.
Haba'ayiv Yashrei Yaakov Yasi Tifra Yisrael amo l'fnei tevel tenevah Talking about the hair like the hair Hariga Hora. This is say of Beshulahad Taribana Hagia. The Riko Hakasha Bayom Kadim.
Vain bezo yiparabonya kaveze Kalpari hasen hatato beshumo Kavnei nitzpeya kavnei kir Min pasot lo yakumo asharim v'hamanim Ki'ir besura batad nave Meshla v'nezav kamidbar sham Yeregel v'sham yerbat v'hila zehifeha Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzorko haolamim Sadiquhu hadarot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'osher ha'daber u'mkayim shekol davarav v'met v'atzeh
Al HaTorah, Al HaAvodah, Al HaMi'im, Al Yom HaShabbat Hazeh, Shunatata Lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Le'tushav U'dinuha L'chavot Tifaret, Al HaKol Adonai Eloheinu, Anachnu Modim La, Working with Taifra Shimcha B'fivo Hai, Tamil Elam Ba'ed, Baruch Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. please rise. One other tradition from my growing up, just to show you the world in which we live. When I was a little boy, I used to daven into shul with my late great uncle, my father's uncle, and 4 years old, 5 years old, obviously Orthodox, so we had no pizza. We little boys would stand next to the men who were davening. What else are we going to do? But these men had chocolate in their pocket. So this was the tradition of our shul. Us little boys would stand next to a guy davening. We'd reach into his jacket pocket. We'd take his chocolate, we put it in our pocket. By the end of Shabbat morning, our pockets were bulged. Every Shabbos, this was the tradition of our shul. So we don't do that here, but I still think it's a nice tradition. Yeah. So I think Simon and Penelope have something they want to say to you.
Hello everybody, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. I'm so grateful that everyone here or on Zoom is in my life. I couldn't reach this milestone without all of you. My Torah portion discusses how the Pharisees have become fearful of how fast and strong the Hebrew community is growing. Because of this fear, the Pharisees tried to enslave the Hebrew people. Eventually, the Pharisees so terrified the Hebrews that they commanded that every Hebrew baby boy was to be thrown in the river. Throughout history, many people have tried to destroy our community. From the Pharaoh, who was scared of the growing might of the Jewish people, to Hitler, who used the Jewish people as a scapegoat for Germany's problems and who murdered 6 million of us. But through all of its attempts to dismantle our community, they have remained steadfast for centuries. Sustaining a Jewish community is an intentional act by a group of people who commit themselves to one another, never breaking nor bending. Judaism to me means community. Growing up in a small college town with a low population of Jewish people, the Jewish community here has been an important part of my life. The synagogue has provided me with knowledge of Judaism and showing me how to use his teachings in my everyday life. Boom Hillel is going to be a place in town where I can fully express my Judaism and has given me Jewish role models to whom I can look up to. One of these communities has been so special to me is Jacob's Camp. I didn't realize when I stepped foot into Jacob's Camp at Olean that I was going to make lifelong friends and memories, from scraping our toast in the pool, to playing kickball on the upper, and having a blast on Shabbat, yelling at my Jewish best friend, you know, means so much to me. I couldn't have reached this milestone in my life without the help of many people. First, I want to thank my wonderful parents for being the most loving and supportive people in the world. Next, I want to thank Joel Rittenberg for being the best Hebrew tutor anyone could ask for. Thank you to Rabbi Jacobs, Joanna Jacobs, Pam DeWitt, Wendy Goldstein, Marcy Weinberger, Shelley Lavender, Jacob Shankman, Stephen Carini, and all my Hebrew school teachers and so many others for helping build this wonderful community. Thank you to Mrs. Bloom, the Hillel interns, and all the Hillel students for making us feel welcome at Family Hillel even when we were little. I also want to thank both sets of grandparents for taking Penelope and me on many adventures. Thank my camp friends for giving me amazing memories and making every summer feel the best. Thank you my school friends for making school at least somewhat bearable. Finally, I want to thank Penelope for most of the time being the best sister I could ask for. I can't wait to continue sharing my love of Judaism by continuing to give back to these communities that have given so much to me. Thank you all for being here, Roll Tide.
Hi everybody, Shabbat Shalom. I just want to thank everybody for coming to celebrate this special time with us. I know it means a lot to me and my brother. To be able to stand up in front of you and read from the Torah is really special to me, especially since this Torah is like over 400 years old. And to read from it gives me like a sense of comfort and community that none of you can understand. Well, no, sorry. Sorry, I'm nervous. Okay. My Torah portion is about Exodus, specifically about them preparing to leave Egypt, to wander the desert for 40 years to find the promised land. As they were preparing to leave, to wander the desert, they worked as a team and a community. We see this being all throughout history as Jewish communities work together to get through the good and the bad. With COVID and all of the hardship we all had to endure, our community came and worked together to give everyone a safe place to worship, whether it's in person or online. As I'm officially bar mitzvah, I know that I do not just have to come to services, but be an acting member in my community. I have to be able to help our community grow and become stronger, and to help as much as I can. Growing up in Tuscaloosa, I don't have a lot of Jewish friends, and I never really had someone who had a lot in common with me that way. However, like Boom Hillel gave me that place, and I know I'm only 13 and I don't have a lot in common with like 19-year-old college students. Sorry. But they made me feel welcome. They made me feel that I belong. They probably don't know how much they mean to me and how much they have impacted my life. But this is what Judaism means, means to me, to find comfort in the places that are difficult, to have people to look up to when I am in doubt. That is what it means to me. Because of this, I'd like to say thank you to a couple people. I want to say thank you to my parents for being there for me through thick and thin, to my grandparents for supporting me and my brother, to my brother for being my best friend and roommate throughout life. Thank you to Joel Rittenberg for, helping us. Thank you to Miss Starbloom and all the Hillel interns, to my school friends who make me actually want to go to school, to Jacob Shankman, to Wendy Goldstein, Joanna Jacobs, Rabbi Jacobs, Pam DeWitt, Marcy Weinberg, and the rest of the congregation for making a community for me and my family. Again, thank you all for coming in. Shabbat Shalom.
Have something they'd like to say.
Shabbat Shalom. Standing here today reminds me of my favorite phrase in Judaism, door by door, and the story about a new rabbi who began working in a small Jewish community much like our own. As he stood in front of the congregation on his first Shabbat, he began by asking a question of those in attendance. What is the most beautiful sound that can be heard in the sanctuary? He paused and waited for responses. an elderly woman whose family had helped establish the Jewish community several generations prior, boldly stated, "Shofar. I just love the way it sounds on the high holidays." The rabbi nodded and said, "While I too like the sweet sound of a well-blown shofar, it is not the most..." I knew you were going to laugh. But it's not the most beautiful sound we hear in the sanctuary. After waiting another moment or so, a young professional who had only been a member of the congregation for a few years sheepishly chimed in, "The days we read from the Torah." It's those moments that remind me of my bar mitzvah. The rabbi rubbed his chin and replied, "While reading from the Torah is important, it also is not the most beautiful sound we hear in the sanctuary." Puzzled by these two incorrect answers, no one else in the sanctuary that night risked offering a response. After an awkward pause, the rabbi said, "The most beautiful sound we hear in any synagogue is that of children. From screaming babies and off-task chatter to their laughter and off-tune singing, those are the sounds that are most beautiful and meaningful for," the rabbi continued, "when we hear those sounds in the sanctuary, there is hope that the traditions of blowing the shofar and reading from the Torah will be passed on door by door, from generation to generation." After all, he said, that is what has allowed us to sustain our customs and traditions for thousands of years. Simon and Penelope, for me to stand in front of our family and friends today and say that I am proud of y'all does not fully express the wave of emotions that Mom and I are feeling right now. Both of you have grown up in this sanctuary and in this community. Both of you have emotionally committed to carving out a Jewish identity that is uniquely yours. There aren't many Jewish communities whose parents' most trusted and reliable babysitter also doubles as the ZBT pledge master. We have learned that it's not the size of the Jewish community that matters most, rather it's the commitment of the people in that community made to passing on traditions from one generation to the next. The two of you embody that commitment of this community, and because of them, y'all have crafted pride for your heritage and the willingness to commit yourself to the importance of the door by door. When Mom and I found out that we were going to have twins, there were lots of things that we expected, and since both of us have a Jewish mother-in-law, there's even more uncertainty. As your dad, I expected to be a role model and an inspiration for each of you as you learn to navigate life. However, the most unexpected part of fatherhood has been the realization that the two of you are in fact my role models and my inspiration as I continue to learn about navigating life. Penelope, you have taught me that there is a difference between being fearless and being courageous. You taught me that being fearless is living without a deep understanding of who I am as a person. However, being courageous is about acknowledging my human condition, understanding the things in the world that frighten me, and digging deep to overcome them. Penelope, you are the most courageous person I know. Your willingness to be self-aware and acknowledge your fears and to work tirelessly to overcome them inspires me daily. I hope you will continue to refuse to be paralyzed by the things in life that scare you. I'm proud of you and I love you. Simon, you constantly remind me that there is no reason why we need to accept the world for how it is and that it is possible to change it for the better. You constantly ask what if and why not. In this age of social justice, you have taught me that as a white male, I have the privilege to pass when I see injustices around me. However, as a Jew, I have the responsibility to speak out, to stand up, and to make a difference. Simon, I am awed by your voice and willingness to speak up when you see injustices in the world. I've never met anyone as genuinely kind and compassionate in my life. I am humbled by how, on a nightly basis, you walk upstairs on your way to bed, call into Penelope's bedroom and check to make sure she's all right, and tell her that you love her. I hope you will continue to live life with both passion and compassion and maintain a deep commitment to making the world we live in a better place. I'm proud of you and I love you. There are many people to thank, but no one more important than you, Lisa. It's days like today why I insisted that my cousin Adam get your name for me when we were at a bar 25 years ago. He's in the other room. It's not surprising to me that our children are courageous and compassionate and inspiring because they embody everything that you are. They might have been womb mates, but you, my friend, were the landlord. Not only have you created a tight-knit family unit, but you have created a larger Jewish community for our family to be a part of. Thank you, and I love you. Joel, I want to thank you for your tireless efforts to prepare our children for this day. You are the embodiment of the door by door. Your work makes your parents and the Jewish community that raised you very proud. Rabbi Jacobs, you have always been there for us and supported us when as we raised our children. Anytime we asked a favor of you, your answer has always been yes. To my parents, Ralph and Sonny, and my in-laws, Edward and Elaine, thank you for always supporting me and Lisa as we have made a Jewish life together. To everyone at Temple Emmanuel, thank you. Pam DeWitt, the entire Goldstein family, Joanna Jacobs, Alan Rosen, Marcy Weinberger, Shelley Lavendor, and Torn Alter. Y'all have embraced the entire Best-Known family, and we love you. To Star Bloom and the Hillel Board of Trustees. Y'all performed a tremendous mitzvah when you invited the 5 of us, counting Ethel, to be part of something special and truly unique. I scoff at anyone who complains about college students these days and chalk their comments up to being old and out of touch. For the past 10 years, the Jewish college students on this campus have been as much a part of our family's life as anyone else. They've made today possible. They've given the Best-Known family a family to have a Shabbat dinner with, to have a Seder with, and on Purim to drink with until we can't tell the difference between our friends and our enemies. More importantly, you have been role models for Simon and Penelope. Not only have you taught a young woman that she can aspire to be anything she wants to be, but you have shown her how through hard work and perseverance, how to work hard and persevere in a male-dominated world. You have made a real connection with a young man, inspired him to set big dreams for himself, and shown him how to confidently, proudly, and compassionately pursue those dreams. Thank you to everyone who traveled near and far today. And finally to Simon and Penelope, as I say to you every morning, when I drop you off at school, I love each and every one.
You're the best children anyone could ever ask for, and I want to thank you for making me the luckiest mom around. Good. Sounds like I've never seen you cry before. While you are our children, you are also our best friends, our confidants, and sometimes our partners in crime. Every morning, some part of me expects to see toddlers running down the stairs with open arms, and some part of me will always see you that way. You guys. See, now you just got me. But you're not toddlers. The two of you are mature, insightful, and in tune with the world around you. You make thoughtful decisions based on not only how it will affect you, but also the people around you and the world around you. I'm impressed by your intelligence, your wit, your ability to care for others, and your love of Judaism. You have worked hard for this day, and the level of support shown by our family and friends is a testament to your character, your dedication to your faith, and door to door, the continuation of tradition within our family. There's so many people in our community who have helped make this weekend possible. Kevin thanked a lot and shared some details, but just could not give a mention to Pam, Amy, Marcy, Wendy, Alan, Greg. Thank you for embracing our family and your help to make this weekend possible. When students visit campus, I often tell them that our community is large enough that you don't feel like you're the only Jewish person around, but it's small enough that you feel that it's very special to be Jewish. It's a community who has embraced us, made us feel welcome, and created a special place to grow and solidify our Jewish faith and heritage. Rabbi, thank you for creating a space for my children to grow up and feel comfortable. I remember when they were little, they would run up to you, give you a high five, and attempt to tell you the joke of the day. That type of familial environment is intentional and creates a secure place for us to be Jewish together. Thank you. Thank you to the college students who have taught Sunday school over the years. Thank you to the Hillel their siblings, and even teaching them about fraternity parties, sign nights, and fake IDs. You have prepared them for ways in life that I don't even think I know about. In all seriousness, Hillel is one of my children's favorite places. It's a place where they can walk into a room filled with Jewish college students who make them feel welcome, and who provide an example of the importance of remaining connected to a young, vibrant Jewish community as they continue their Jewish journey. To Star and the Hillel Board of Trustees, thank you for being our extended family. And always greeting Simon and Penelope with hugs and giving them and our golden doodle Ethel a second home at Hillel. Joel, thank you for preparing Simon and Penelope for their B'nai Mitzvah. Joel became much more than a teacher and established a relationship of mutual respect and friendship with Simon and Penelope. We are forever grateful for the time you have spent with our children, and so pleased that your parents could be here today to see you stand in front of our congregation as a mentor, a teacher, and a friend. Thank you to my parents and in-laws for laying the foundation for both me and Kevin to create Jewish homes and pass our love for Judaism onto our children. Thanks, Kevin, for keeping us all grounded. For working with the religious school when we first moved to town, and being an integral part of creating a Jewish home and community. We love you. Thank you to Simon and Penelope for being awesome. Simon, I appreciate your compassion for other, protective nature, and in all of your expansive sports knowledge. Penelope, I'm impressed by your insightfulness, ability to put things in perspective, and courage to try new things. Continue to be strong, be courageous, and stand up for what's right. You have both worked so hard preparing for today, excelling in school, and becoming polite and caring young adults. Now take a deep breath. Really take a deep breath. And be present in the moment with all your friends and family around you. Cherish the day, enjoy your accomplishment. Continue to hug your mother. And mazel tov to you both. As I say today, I love you both with all my heart.
At this moment, we now invite to our Bima, the president of our congregation, Joanna Jacobs. We are not related, by the way. No incidents of last name.
Have to dodge the candy. Shabbat Shalom. Good morning and welcome to everybody. We're so pleased to see you here at Temple Emmanuel, and we are especially pleased to be able to be present for the bar and bat mitzvah of Simon and Penelope. I know that we've all been looking forward to this day for a really long time, them included. And I just have to say, both of you, you did a fantastic job. I don't think I can overstate how proud you all are of you, and how thrilling it is to see both of you, who we watched from delightful little children grow up to be the still delightful young people that you are today. You're both very poised and lovely, and I'm so glad that you're part of our congregation. And I know that you know as well as the rest of us that this is just the beginning of a long and wonderful relationship with Temple Emmanuel. You both have a wonderful model in your enthusiastic and wonderful parents. So I'm happy on behalf of the Temple and the board to be able to present you with some small gifts. Penelope, Simon, thank you so much for letting us share this day with you.
It's been, okay, so I'm going to speak on behalf, I think I'm going to speak for both of us and the sisterhood. It's been amazing to watch you grow up. We've known you since you were very, very little, within the walls of this temple and within our Jewish community. We are small, so it's so many people to, oh my goodness. You know, this is like 2 weekends in a row of for us. So to see the young people, I sound so old, it's, you know, growing up and embracing your Judaism and taking it forward with you into your adulthood, and we are super, super proud of you. So, and we love you. So this is for you. So, oh my gosh, thank you.
I want to say Mitzvah, and you guys did such a great job with your Mitzvah, and we are very proud of your achievement, and it has been such a great joy watching you guys growing up from little boy, little girl, to now you're young men and young women. So, on behalf of the sisterhood, I want to say congratulations, and I wish for all the wonderful good things in the future for both of you.
It was last Shabbat morning that we had the joy of celebrating with Jolie and her husband David, their son, bar mitzvahs. And last but by no means least, the president of our men's club, Murray Silverstone, who is known throughout our community for his bow ties.
Simon and Penelope, or Penelope and Simon, I should say. First of all, Mazel Tov, you did a wonderful job. You are an inspiration to all of us and our children, and you have definitely the two best role models that I know of in our community, and especially their investment in our community, and that you brought these wonderful people to overfill our little school. It's absolutely wonderful. I'm hoping you'll continue to be the best role models for my kids, because I think you absolutely are, and you continue to inspire all of us. So at the men's club, now that you are officially adults in our community, we figure that we can allow you to choose what you want to do with your bar mitzvah presents from us. So enjoy, Mazel Tov again, and thank you, and yeah.
And probably we'll be celebrating that with Murray and his family, their sons bar mitzvahs. We have two other gifts. You can stay seated over there. First is a certificate to commemorate the day, but perhaps more importantly is a gift certificate for $250 from the Reform Movement for your first trip to Israel. One for each of you. So, wow. Really something, huh? There is a midrash, if you remember from the book of Bereshit, from Genesis, when Abraham Avinu, Abraham the patriarch, first heard God's command, his response was, Hineni, Hineni. But the midrash, God forbid the rabbis should let it rest, added a word. The midrash says, Hineni shlacheni. Here I am, send me forth. Here I am, send me forth. The midrash also says that Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses the master teacher, heard the same invitation and responded the same way. Hineni shlacheni. Here I am, send me forth. Well, it seems to me that Kevin and Lisa said the same thing to Simon and Penelope. And Simon and Penelope said, Hineni, here we are. Let us go forth together to celebrate the joy of being Jews. And I thank both of you for not only joining us in our community and your overly generous and gracious comments to me, but how special you are in a very special place. We are all part of that specialness. We are not the largest congregation in America by a long shot. We are perhaps among the smallest. But as the president and the board of trustees and everyone else who's affiliated with us know, we are mighty in our smallness. Why? Because we are generous. Because we care. We care about Simon and Penelope. We care about Kevin and Lisa. We care about every member of this shul to make their lives that much more special. What can we do for you to make it even more special? How can we make your weekend the very special moment? How can we build your memories so when the weekend is over and everybody goes home except us, you're still glowing? And Kevin in his comments said the magic word of the rabbi of this congregation, guys. There is one word that I do not know, that I do not accept from any member of this congregation, that I refuse to hear it. One word. And that word is no. No does not exist at Temple Emmanuel of Tuscaloosa. It's not part of our vocabulary. The only word which you inherit, Simon and Penelope, today is yes. From now on, anytime you're here and we are praying together, and I say to each of you, either individually or both of you together, will you come up and offer Torah blessings? What's the answer?
Yes.
If I say to Kevin, when he's here praying, will you hold the Torah? What is the answer?
Yes, sir.
Always. Always. That's what it's all about. Hineni shlacheni. That's what it means to be a Jew. For thousands of years, we have stepped up. Not only at Har Sinai, not only in the Negev, not only in Yerushalayim, not only in Tel Aviv, not only in Haifa, not only in Bnei Brak, not only in Ramat Gan, where my family lives. No matter where we live, yes is the Jewish answer to the world's no. This bar mitzvah, this bat mitzvah, is a yes. We will not be silenced as a people. We will stand firm in our resolve. We will make the world a better place because the only response we know is yes. Is yes. That two-word phrase, Hineni shlacheni, is among the most important words that you will ever hear in Jewish life. If you lived here among us, you would have to say yes as a member of this shul. You would have to say yes as a member of this community. There is no here. We will not allow it. We will not permit it inside this building. Yes. Why? Because we're a proud community. We're a proud family at Temple Emmanuel. There is no question that Simon and Penelope are loved by this congregation. There's no question. Everybody loves your kids. Everybody loves your kids. And everybody loves you. Because yes is the only answer we have for you. You're here. You're part of us. We're part of you. That's what makes it special. We didn't ask them to do weird things, did we? Maybe we did. I don't know. Stop and think about it. Some of you, when I look out at you, look to me a little bit older than 13. We We didn't ask you guys to go out and kill a bear to demonstrate your manhood. We didn't ask the women in this congregation to go off by themselves for a week and demonstrate their own survival skills. We didn't ask them, what did we ask of Simon and Penelope? What did we ask of our kids? Learn prayers in a language that you don't speak. Read from a text that's thousands of years old, and read from this very special scroll that is here in this home. Yes, I will do it. I will step up. I'm 13 years old, and I will show you I can do it. There's nothing I can't do. There's nothing Simon can't do. There's nothing Penelope can't do, because she's shown us how special she is. He named Shlachim. Here I am. Send me forth. Let me show you what I'm capable of. I said last week, and I say it again, I was ordained a couple of months ago. I had been privileged to celebrate hundreds of Barei Mitzvah over my journey, including my own, but we won't go into that. I have never not seen a young person do incredible things. Magic takes place at a bar mitzvah. Magic takes place at a bat mitzvah. What a privilege to be in the presence of these two magicians. What a joy to celebrate with Simon and Penelope the very specialness of their lives. With God's help, may it continue to be so. And may all the blessings that God has now held in store for them now be showered upon them. Amen. It is the tradition of this congregation, before we return to our Siddurim, that we pause in worship to remind ourselves that we are committed to the healing that comes from prayer,